welcome to LOA Today. I'm Walt Thiessen. With me today are comedian Alex King and life coach Monique Scott. This is your daily dose of happy. We are so happy you decided to join us today. Except for one small detail, it's not Monique. I played the wrong intro. No, don't do that to me. But okay, that's all right. We'll bring in the right people. We do have Alex King, but we also have Mr. Daniel Mangena joining us today. So I tell you guys, I like StreamYard. I really do, because we can reach so many people with it and so forth. But I'm still learning this thing, guys. I mean, this is just, I have not had this big of a learning curve in a long time. Let me put it that way.
Not since you made the app.
Pretty much. Yeah, pretty much.
Oh, you had a lot of fun with that, I remember.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, fun is an interesting choice of words. Yes.
Definitely fun.
But that's all right. It's all good. So anyway, welcome to another episode. And we've got a couple things to share today. First of all, I wanted to share something. This is kind of interesting. This is not an email that came to us. This is an email, one of those you get on mailing lists and so forth. And this is one of those emails that came in on a mailing list. And the only reason, I don't want to read the whole thing, but I wanted to share the fact that it came because I just feel like it fits in nicely to where our broader community is going and the influence that we're starting to have on the broader public. This actually came from an organization that promotes podcasts, which of course is why I got it. And the person who wrote it in, basically the email was about celebrating the fact that I put together a podcast and that I've been doing it for a while. And I thought to myself, how cool. I mean, we talk about celebrating all the time in terms of how important it is to keep your vibration up and so forth. Now here's somebody who does podcasts in general for just all kinds of podcasters saying, do some appreciating, get excited about what you created. And I thought, oh, geez, I got to share that with everybody. So isn't that great? I love it when we see, people outside of our community kind of latching on, even if they don't know exactly what they're latching on to. I like it. And then we also had, what's that, Daniel?
Happy reminders.
Happy reminders, absolutely. Then we also have an email from a listener. This is one, she actually sent this one in a couple weeks ago. Amy, I apologize. I missed it the first time. Believe it or not, I went into the junk folder and I didn't see it, but I pulled it out and then she sent another copy of it. So I want to make sure we get it onto the show today because, Daniel, this one is directed to you. She says, I started doing the money game some time ago. And the first round went pretty well. I was given some unexpected things, but Daniel said those don't count, so I continued on. At some point, my edge jumped to $1,500. Congratulations. I thought, no problem. This is doable. I guess I wasn't receptive enough because I sort of forgot about it. On occasion, I would think, oh, yeah, I'm going to manifest more than $1,500. I didn't write down the dates, but this went on for quite a while. And then one day last month, my checking account was $15,000 higher. This was so unexpected. I am truly grateful. So now I just have to get over the fact that my edge is so much bigger than I had anticipated. I'm getting myself in the receiving mode for the next edge. I put on my to-do list last night to write my statement again. I've been putting it off. And then I was listening to show number 1443. We actually number the shows and she's actually paying attention to the number. I mean, I'm impressed by that all by itself.
That's impressive.
And Walt wanted to revisit the money game. So thanks for the push. Thank you all for all the positivity. I love the show. And there's another, do not read. Okay, so I won't read that part to the audience. Got it. I actually paid attention to it this time. How about that? But Daniel, I mean, I understand where she's coming from on this one. Because you can get a relatively larger than you would expect leap. And that's a pretty big leap, 1,500 to 15,000. And now your edge is really, really out there. And it's like, oh God, can I do that again? How do you deal with that?
Well, I would say to remember that depending on where they are, just because their edge is that much doesn't mean that that's what they're going for. So, because remember the three phases of the game have three different approaches to how you're setting your targets. So if she's in stage 1, for example, she's done less than 5 rounds, then she doesn't need to worry about that right now. She should only be going up by small increments, even though her edge is higher. If she's in the round 6 through 10, then during that phase of round 6 through 10, then she's going to be looking at whatever her edge is. But by then she should have had more experiences of it.
Well, I think she said that the first round went pretty well, so it sounds like she did actually complete the first round, the first phase of it.
So all 5.
So the five steps of the phase 1, yeah.
Oh yeah, then have some fun, lady. But remember the current record, and I think actually we may can someone do what's 48,000 US dollars? 1 second, in a UD.
It's going to be around.
Still got a record 75. We still got a record 75,000 Australian dollars in 2 days.
Oof.
And they were out to. They did it during the challenge, so they were out to get $10 and got 75,000.
That's a jump.
So, so don't worry about the how. And this is one thing. Obviously, when people are using the book, they can't have the hands-on help and advice. That's why it's great to listen to the show every Thursday and be subscribed. Then you can
little promo
and get some
Love
free
that.
coaching.
Absolutely.
But honestly, if someone's really up against an edge about their top edge, I'd have them just celebrate that one and come to whatever the next one is. So let's say, for example, 1,500. She knows she's done 15,000. So come to 1,500. If you're really, really feeling charged around it, work with 1,500, knowing that you've got the evidential experience of the 15,000, that 1,500 is more than possible. And then as you get stronger, your edges will start getting bigger and you manifest bigger amounts of money.
Yeah, that's good. I like that. There's no reason why you can't go back a step. We kind of assume, oh, we're locked in. We have to do it this particular way, but that's not the way it is.
And it should be fun. It should be fun. This is like a really imperative thing that I want to make sure people are remembering. I called it the money game, not the money thing, or like the money adventure
challenge or something,
or whatever. Even when we do a challenge around it, we have fun with it. We have fun playing the money game. At the end of the day, without that aspect, it all just becomes just icky and hard, and it's not about. It's about having fun playing the money game.
Yeah, I like that a lot. That's really important. In fact, it reminds me of yesterday's episode, because on Wednesdays we have been doing law of attraction experiments drawn from the books by Pam Grout, the E Squared and E Cubed books. I don't know if you're familiar with those, but they're basically just. But they're just laying out different experiments you can do to just kind of expand your edge. I mean, that's really what they're all about. And we did our first one over the past week. Each one of us laid out something that we wanted to attract in the past week, and when all 3 of us got what we asked for, and some of us got it pretty quickly, it was exciting. I mean, that was the whole point. We kind of went into it saying, well, it doesn't really matter if we get what we're looking for. This is just a test. It's just an experiment to see what happens. So we're going to be fine with any result. But then when we got the result, where all 3 of us got it, and we also had people from the audience who shared that they'd gotten what they had asked for, that was like, whoa, this is really good, because this is like sharing somebody else's edge. Not only did you get your thing, but you could also celebrate the fact that everybody else is getting their thing. And that just kind of adds to the whole experience of, wow, this really does work. It doesn't just work for me, it works for everybody. For me, that's a reinforcement. Maybe for some people, that's a detractor. I don't know. But I'm just saying, for me, that's a reinforcer. That's good. So anyway, all right. Well, we can carry on more with the conversations about the money game. I do want to bring Alyx into the conversation. She's been sitting there with beautiful new hair. You've got a new style there, girl. What's going on?
Thank you. I manifested this hair, actually.
I mean, you're looking good. And what's really interesting is you actually went with like traditional colors. We're not talking the purples and blues today.
Yeah, no, trying out wedding styles. That's what it is.
Ah, okay. That's right. Yeah. And you were also meeting with a consultant last week. So you're in the wedding mode right now, aren't you?
No, I had my engagement photos done last week.
Oh, it was engagement photos. That's what it was. Okay. Well, that's still part of the wedding planning, but still.
That would be engagement photos session round 3. So
round 3, okay.
Because we did originally we did our own in the first trial, and I didn't really like them. Then we did our own, but had my stepdaughter take the pictures. She did great. And then we won this contest for a free engagement session. So
nice.
great.
Yeah. So there's another example of celebrating the game. You won the game once again. Congratulations.
I'm always winning the game.
Always winning the game. Good.
Because
I like
you're a
that.
winner, Mama. You're a winner.
Exactly.
Love it.
Hey.
I love it. Good stuff. Yeah. Well, the actually the second experiment that Cindy and Monique and I are doing is it's basically a notice what's going on that's going well kind of experiment. It's one of the last experiments in the E² book, and I think it's called the kind, beautiful, abundant things experiment, where you just anything that happens during your day, even the littlest thing that feels good, that it just feels, maybe somebody does something kind for you, maybe you see somebody else do a kindness, maybe you just enjoy something, you played with the dog, and you enjoyed playing with the dog, anything like that, you make note of it. I've been actually writing down what it was. Cindy and Monique, they're just making a little tick mark to keep track of it. But the idea is to literally take the time out through our days to notice the things that we usually kind of discount as they happen during the day, because there's lots of good things that happen in our day that we don't pay attention to. So this is kind of a way of retraining ourselves to pay attention to them. And already, I mean, we're each going to do it for a 48-hour period, and then next week we're going to report back. I'm partway through the first, so like 12, not quite 12 hours. Yeah, about 12 hours of doing it. And I've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11. I got 12 things on my list so far. And that's cool. But the thing I've been noticing more than anything else, I'm now looking for them. I'm now looking for those positives. I wasn't really looking for them before. That's actually the biggest shift. And it's not what I expected. I thought it was going to be, oh, well, I feel so much better now, or, something, so the $15,000 just showed up in my checking account or something. No, I'm paying more attention. That's the benefit. And I guess perhaps it seems, obvious from afar, but when you're in the middle of it, that sounds pretty cool. So anyway, let's talk a little bit more. What's this, Jeffrey? Oh, Jeffrey says, I saw puppies I was looking for. Oh, that's right. Yes, Jeffrey had an interesting thing that he was looking for. He was requesting, I think it was a basset hound. I don't remember what the other breed was. And then he also wants a slingshot. And the three of us were trying to figure out why he wanted a slingshot. We're not really sure about that one. But he's reporting that he saw some puppies he was looking for. So he's partway there. Just had to say that. Anyway,
I thought slingshot was a breed of a dog. I was like, what? I don't know that breed. I'm not familiar.
I don't know. It's possible. Who knows? Let's get back to the money game for a little bit. And I want to go after a couple points you raised, Daniel. The first one, and I think it's a really important one, that's kind of what I was piggybacking on, was your idea that it's a game. It's about having fun with it. Because we are really good at taking things far too seriously. And the whole point of any kind of a game or exercise to kind of stretch our believability and help ourselves become better manifestors and so forth is to enjoy it. Because if you're enjoying it, you're on that high vibration. And yet we don't remember to do that so often. It's almost like, doesn't that need to be like part of the rules or something? Like, you make sure you enjoy this.
I mean, I thought I covered that by calling it a game, but apparently...
Some things need explanation. Yeah.
Now the world is too competitive. We need all the rules.
I was like, I called it money game. Like, why are you stressing? I don't get it.
Because you took something fun, but then you put something serious in front of it. So it's like, it's the game, but it's the money game.
Yeah, it's like,
no pun intended. No,
like a game, like should end with the game. So your final thought should be game. That was what I was going for.
No, see, I'm competitive. So when I hear game, I hear it's my turn to win.
Yeah, it is your turn to win, but have fun.
It's not fun. It takes focus and determination.
Yeah.
But what else are you gonna call it? Like, those are your options.
Yeah.
He's so enthusiastic today.
Let's call it now. Let's rebrand it. The money fun event. The money have fun and don't get too seriously experience.
Bit long for a title, but you're getting in the right place.
Yeah, but apparently game isn't enough to give people.
You just gotta put rules in the table of contents.
Yeah, but games have rules to ensure that you have the most fun.
Depends on who you're playing with.
Okay, you just destroyed my dreams. I feel like Morpheus at the end of Matrix 2.
No.
I have dreamed, and now my game is gone from me. Literally what I feel like. Hang on, did I just make a movie reference that Walt actually understood?
Actually, you did, believe it or not. Yeah.
That's a win right
I'm
there.
winning at life now. I'm winning at life right now. I don't think that's ever happened.
I don't think so either.
Thank you, universe for balance.
I'm glad I can serve. I mean, really, there's very little I can do sometimes, but I like that.
No, but I think really, if it's fun, then it might challenge the ideas that it's something that you can enjoy doing, manifesting, because then we don't have our stories and our narratives and the other things. So perhaps we're allowing the non-fun aspects of the idea of the money game to cloud our ability to just actually do it. Because today, you want your vibration up. That's what's doing it. That's why we do the gratitude part of it. And that's why we look at detaching from it so that we can allow ourselves to use a streamism to be up our spiral around it and therefore be available to manifest things that we want versus kill or be killed. Oh, I will destroy my enemies in this game. Yeah.
That's how I play.
Yeah.
You're one of those tough game players. Yeah, I get that.
I am. You should see us in Cards Against Humanity. Oh, don't bring Unos to this house either. Let me tell you.
Ooh.
So killing each other and verbally abusing one another on the way down. Okay, sounds like fun.
Whoever's the last one to do it wins.
I like Cards Against Humanity because you have to come up with
love Cards Against Humanity.
The wittiest. It's like an insight into the darkness of the human soul.
Facts.
Well, not having played the game, I mean, I don't know the game, but just the name of it evokes that, so I buy into it. Yeah,
I think you'd like it.
So, tell them what the game is. Explain Cards Against Humanity and how it works. I've been trying to find a virtual version so we can play.
Oh, we figured out how to play it because we did a game night over Zoom with like 5 of my friends. I forget how we figured out how to play it. I think everybody had
to play Cards Against Humanity.
What?
You didn't invite me to play Cards Against Humanity.
It wasn't my game. I was invited.
Don't give me that excuse, lady.
Next time I'll be like, hold please, I have to call Cabo.
Yeah, please. Virtual cocktails. Anyway, please tell what about the game because it's a great game.
It is a great game. So basically they took a bunch of cards and there's 2 sets of cards. So one set of cards, a person gives out and you take one card and it'll say something ridiculous. I wouldn't even know what to quote a card. You got to look at the back of the box, but it'll say something ridiculous and you have to find something equally ridiculous to go with that card. And everybody else in the room puts one card down. So the person who picked the main card has to pick without knowing who put the card down, which person said what is closest to how he felt about the card.
Okay, so basically everybody is thinking of what their reaction to the card is. That's what you're saying.
Yes.
Okay,
yes.
I get it.
But it's kind of like you got to be witty, but at the same time you kind of got to know the card puller's personality. So it's like
because they're going to be voting basically, and then the temperament of the people and the personality of the people that you're playing with comes in, because if it's a really dark person, they're going to look for the most sadistic, because there's some really dark responses to really strange questions.
Yeah.
So I'm gathering that's where the against humanity part comes into it. But can you like give an example of that, just so I have something a little more concrete to go with?
I'll be right back. Please hold.
We even have our own on hold music. That is so cool.
Come on, Alex. I'm running out of tunes here.
You're doing really well.
Okay.
Thank you, Alex.
He was just doing the entire Girl from Ipanema theme. I just wanted you to know.
I could hear. So this is the box. Wait, which way does the okay?
Yeah. Mm-hmm. Just give him one.
I'm
gonna find one for him to.
I gotta find one that I can say on TV.
That would be good. Thank you very much.
Oh yeah.
Nope,
oh,
not that one.
Rub all the fun.
Not that one.
Just how many she's saying no to should give you an insight as to what's going on.
It does, actually. Yes,
Not
the
that
imagination goes kind of wild here. Yeah.
Okay, here's a good one. And 2 examples. Here we go.
All right.
All right, so the black card says, what makes life worth living? So based on whoever picked this card, your choices are
some random ones.
I am.
So, yeah.
So two randoms. I pulled out being able to talk to elephants and vigorous jazz hands.
Okay.
So I got to pick out
Exactly.
Exactly, right? So I got to pick out of which
but
one
it
of
could
those
be
two
like,
makes life worth living.
But it could be like midget children from Rwanda, or but they're that random. No. Yeah. I think that card
Oprah
is actually
Winfrey crying into a lean cuisine.
Yeah, like
that's one of my favorites.
Yeah, there's some really strange ones.
Mm-hmm.
Completely politically incorrect.
All the way.
It's like if everyone in England's political correctness that they've been hiding in the shadows of their afternoon tea came out and transmuted into cards for a game, all of that suppressed energy would be the cards against humanity.
Yes.
I have to say the against humanity part doesn't sound all that bad. It actually sounds it really does.
We have to have a virtual game and have war.
We got to figure it out. We got to do it.
I'm willing
but
to
I
try
think
that.
I think everyone has to have their own set.
Yeah, so I'm happy to sponsor getting a deck over to Walt. I need a new one here anyway.
I got the expansion pack.
There ought to be there's no virtual version of this game? I'm surprised.
Not yet.
No.
There's a supernatural version I have to get though.
Of course there is. Of course.
I did not know that was possible even.
I didn't think so either. I'm like, why would they take the
gods are real.
out of supernatural?
The gods are real.
Okay, well, this is cool. Now I've just been introduced to a game that I can't play just yet, but I'm intrigued. And as you guys know, that's a rare thing. So well done. Congratulations.
Now you're always intrigued. It's just a matter of whether you liked it or not once it's done.
This is true. Yes. I mean, it's like you've introduced me to movies and the trailer sounded good. And then I actually watched it and yeah. Okay. We won't go.
Yeah.
What did that happen with?
Everything we've ever suggested.
Yeah, but normally I'm used to Walt just saying, no, thanks.
Well, he did try Supernatural.
I do those too. Yeah. Supernatural was a rough one for me. I couldn't get past the first 2 episodes. I just couldn't do it.
Wow.
Right? Said no one ever.
Well, one anyway.
Well, somebody did.
Said someone.
He said.
I mean,
someone
I guess I'm
somewhere.
I'm just showing that I'm unique. That's all.
Very special. Very magical. Very special.
Yeah.
If you believe that one.
I love that Walt's actually like on the vanguard of the tangents today. This is hilarious. I feel like
I had a topic. I don't remember what it was.
I feel like the reason why I was left out of the title music is so that you could do the tangents today. Like, I'm going to exercise the spirit of Dan so that I can do the tangents today.
Oh God.
That's exactly what happened.
That was a pretty cool intro, though. I've never seen the intro.
Well, it's cool also when you have the right co-hosts on the intro, but it works. It's just a little bit better.
Speaking of which, we have to talk about your posting because these thumbnails of me, bro.
I have
Give me more.
Also, Walt.
Well, you've each given me one. Thank you.
I have like official.
Actually, Alex gave me 2.
I don't think I authorized this one.
I will send every time I change my hair. I will send you a new one. It is fine.
Okay.
Okay.
I'll take you up on that. That's cool. I mean, I use what I've got. It's simple.
Yeah, but you take clips from the show, and it's like you got me doing that face, and then
well, the last one I had of you was of a pure laugh, which was wonderful.
Yes, I let that slide because I was laughing.
Good. Yeah. But yeah, show me something different. I'll include it. I'm always like lacking a new photo to put in, so give me the photos.
Oh, I have all the photos. Don't play me.
Well, then I'm not playing. I'm saying dish them out. Let's do it. Okay, let's see where we're. Oh yes, that's what I was actually going to ask you questions about the money game. I asked you about the enjoyment factor and the game factor, and we, as usual, went off on a rail, which was good. But the other thing I wanted to ask you about the money game is whenever we're talking about it here, I keep asking myself, how many people are playing it? How many people aren't playing it? And I realized, I mean, this is like with anything else. There's going to be a large segment of the population that's they're just not into it at that moment, or they've already played it, or whatever. But there's also a piece of me that wonders, like, are there people who are starting and then stopping, kind of like me watching movies?
Yes, lots of people stop and start, and some people just stop from starting also. But much like you with movies, but. You can always start again. And we're saying for the people like people in my Micro to Millions program, for example, we always just say to them, just doesn't matter if you stopped, just get back on it.
Yeah.
And go from the beginning. Start back with $1, start with 10, start with 5.
I guess the reason
back to the beginning.
The reason I brought the question up though is I'm wondering if people are stopping just because they're getting discouraged.
It's deceptively easy, and so people underestimate the power of it. Number one, and you're kind of supposed to forget that you're doing it, so that can sometimes go a bit too far, and then you forget that you weren't really supposed to forget that you were doing it, and then you stop doing it.
I forgot what I was forgetting.
And some people integrate it. Like, I don't necessarily sit down and write my straight books anymore, but I use it all the time because the game is a vehicle to understand the principles of manifestation, more so that you having to maintain this rigid thing. It's about accepting the vibrational flow, learning how to set intentions that work, creating alignment, and you can then apply it to everyone. Like in the book, I teach you how to do it with finding your purpose, improving your career prospects, finding a relationship, clients for your business. Because now then you can take that principle of, I'd really like to serve X amount of people, like more, so I can have more freedom, whatever my intention is, and we get into a space of gratitude and then connect with that.
That's true. And that is what it's all about. I guess there's the piece of me that's also hoping, I guess anytime I hear about somebody who's discouraged, I just want to give them a boost. And that's why I'm bringing this up. Because I know what it's like to be discouraged. I know what it's like to feel like, well, geez, this doesn't work for me. That's why I was emphasizing what I talked about with, how all three of us yesterday had a win. It's like, oh, wow, look at this. We all got a win. How cool is that? Really, really enforces it, But it's easy to reinforce in the other direction. So I guess I sympathize and empathize with the people who are struggling because I know what it's like to struggle.
So what would you say to the people that are discouraged at this point? Well,
that's what I was asking Daniel about, actually.
But you're someone who has played the game, forgot you were playing the game, gotten discouraged, and got back on it. So,
well, one thing I would mention, this is again something that came up yesterday. When Cindy reported on what had happened with her ask yesterday was, or actually her ask a week ago, was she wanted to be contacted by somebody that she hadn't talked to in a long, long time, like 10 years ago or something like that. They were just to contact her out of the blue. And within 48 hours of setting that intention, she got a contact from somebody who was a friend from way back from 10 years or more, and she discounted it.
Why?
Said, well, that one doesn't count. And then she went like for the rest of the week looking for another example to pop up, and she said, wait a minute, why am I discounting that? That doesn't make any sense.
Subconscious sabotage.
Yeah, it is. Yeah. But I mean, she's a life coach. She's a life coach. She knows the importance of recognizing, and she's still, I mean, I'm saying this to point out, even those of us who are pretty darn good at this thing, we can just kind of slip up and just not notice the stuff that's coming to us. I mean, how many times did I do that with the money game? I think 2 or 3 times something came through. Like, I just disconnect. I know, it's kind of crazy too. But no wonder we get discouraged. That stuff shows up we don't even give credit for.
Yeah, because then it's real. And if it's real, then we don't have excuses to stay where we are.
True. Those excuses do
that looks like evidence. That looks like evidence to me. I won't be claiming that
Stay
one.
away from that.
On to the next story. I mean, look, the mind is always seeking to stay at home. And when we take it too far, it always wants to come home. And this is why the money game is about understanding what's in your home and changing that so that the home is what you want it to be. This is why we go in micro shifts. People are, I don't need $1. Do you know how much I need to like pay my student loans or blah, 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 doobry, what's it, bumble fart? Yeah, I get it. But we need to micro shift into that. We want to micro shift into actually having that revised experience. And when we do that, that snapback, for me, this is the whole thing of pushing the edge and not your buttons that I talk about. This is pushing your edge and not your buttons in action. She pushed her edge and short-circuited and therefore went into self-sabotage. Or some people won't even see the blessing in the first place. They won't even see it in order to deny that it happened, aka walk and not even realizing that the winds had shown up. Like we see that time and time and time and time and time again. And this is why we say start with $1, start with 2, 5 or 10, ease into it. Regardless of how big wins you have in those first 5 rounds, just bump it by $5 or $10, if even that, $1 even, or more. We always add the or more, and then watch it expand. And then that second phase, we're cementing our relationship to that edge by claiming it and hitting it 5 times. And then we're strengthening it by going back half and building back up to it again.
Jeffrey had a question very much along the same line. He says, what do you say to people that aren't often in a money-making mindset? And when they are, it's good, but mostly they focus on other things.
I would say, what are they focusing on? And they're focusing on it because that's what they want to focus on, or because they're punking away from looking at the fact that money is an actual part of life that we actually have to deal with and use. We don't live in a no bad society where we trade goats and shells. We use money. That's how we function as a society. And the new age may yet come. The golden age may come where we renounce the systems of money, but it's not here today. So let's get some money, pay the bill, right? Have some choice and experiences. If you want to create it to give to others, create it to give to others, whatever you want to do. Functioning in a society where the collective agreements are that money is the medium of exchange. Without that medium of exchange is just limiting yourself. It's limiting yourself. And you're welcome to be limited as much as you want. I'm not here judging or telling people what they should do, but then don't complain when you can't pay the bills, or don't complain about the starving children in Indonesia or wherever, because you could have done something about it if you had some money.
I guess I should stop complaining about the fact that I invested in that shells thing too. I mean, yeah. I thought it was going to be the new money supply.
Your Bitcoin shells?
Well, the Bitcoin shells are actually doing really well. Actually.
They're doing very well, yes.
Very well. I'm still laughing at there's people in, and look, even going to like not seeing the opportunity. When Bitcoin was still sub $5,000, I was telling people in my program, get 10% of your net worth and put it into Bitcoin. That was when it was. It's gone up 20 times since then.
Where's it? It's like 50, 60,000, something like that.
It blew through 60,000 this week.
Did it? Oh, okay. Yeah. I saw an article by a guy who was a online investment guru who said that he had bought it at around 12,000. He had just sold it around 60,000 and just paid off his mortgage. So, yeah.
Woo!
Yeah.
Not a bad payday.
Not at all.
I think the Bitcoin thing is really interesting too, because you have an entire money supply that no one's actually using as a money supply, but lots of people are investing in it. I think it's really fascinating.
Well, it's been used as storage of wealth, just like nobody goes around spending gold doubloons anymore. But we still hold.
That wouldn't turn out well. The doubloon came my way.
I hit my bread and milk, me RT. It's like, that's not what we're doing. Yeah. I have a pint of your finest beer. Here's my gold doubloon. Oh.
I can't make change for that. I'm sorry.
Then I'll gut you like a fillet of fish.
Fillet of fish.
There's another coin actually. So we've got for the guys in my accelerator, I gather all the data from my mentors and I create like a portfolio sheet. We've got a crypto portfolio sheet. And one of the coins that was on there, we got the recommendation at 7 cents. It's now at 85 cents since January.
Ooh,
wow.
Nice. Really nice.
And it's not even hit $1 yet. So who knows where that one's going to go with its market cap.
Mm.
But I've been in that one since 7 cents. I've been in that one.
Nice.
Now, I do want to put out the disclaimer. We're not doing investment advice here on the show. I mean, first of all, it's highly regulated.
Oh, no. I didn't say what the coin was. This is why I didn't say what the coin was.
That's true.
Not advising you. We're not advising you to buy cockleshell coins either.
Cockleshell coins.
Or to gut people like a fillet of fish because they don't give you change for your gold doubloons. If they don't have change for your gold doubloons, that's between you and them. But don't gut them.
I just wanted to make sure we were clear with the SEC, just in case there were.
Yeah, I'm no interest in the SEC unless they want to play the money game. They're welcome to come and do a better millions.
I think the SEC plays the money game every day, just not quite the way.
Oh, they write the money game.
This is true.
They write the money game.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Oh my gosh.
And it's a little dangerous playing it that way. But
speaking of the money game, I actually have a question.
What's that?
When is it coming out on audio for us lazy readers?
Well, for people that don't want to read, that's why I produced the free challenge that people can do, which teaches them the principles instead.
There's an interesting response. I like that one.
Called my mama a hoe.
I did not refer to your mother as a garden. Do you remember that in House Party? Why would he call your mother a garden tool?
Right.
No, but I am actually I've ordered a little soundproof booth thingy, majig, for my office, which is going to come next week, so that I can personally do the audiobook of the Dreamer's Manifesto and also the audiobook of the Money Game.
Beautiful.
Yes.
All right.
That's all I've been waiting for.
Y'all ready to play this money game right now, right? You got to manifest something here.
That was my next question. Are you going to do the audio?
I'm doing the audio with different accents.
You got to do it exactly that way. That's perfect.
Because I only listen to books where the audio is done by the author.
You probably don't want to do that with every book because some people should not be narrating their own books.
Some people shouldn't
really be investing in an actor.
I've learned that I felt this way since I listened to Kevin Hart's book. I was like, nobody else could have done it like this. Like, I just couldn't do it the other way.
Well, maybe you're also starting your new career because you already have a sort of a career started doing voiceovers, right? Mm-hmm. So why not become an audiobook narrator? I mean, I could see you doing that.
I mean, I audition for whatever. So whatever comes my way, comes my way.
But seriously, I mean,
but then that would mean you have to read the book, though.
Well, you read it as you're going along, really.
Not to discourage you. Not to discourage you.
But you can always listen to it again after you're done.
I'm gonna pick my projects carefully because if I have to read the book, I want it to be something I'm excited about.
I'm excited, so excited. Yeah.
Is that exactly what
you're doing?
Yep. all day.
Wonderful.
See, that's good stuff.
Amazing.
All right. Any other money game questions? If not, then we can just move on to the next topic, which I don't know what it is. So I think I'll just do a promo because that's what I go to when I don't have a topic to go to.
Yes.
Okay.
The walkthrough of the promo.
Yeah, it's really simple. So, yeah, if you haven't gotten the LOA Today app, first of all, we want you to get it because of all the cool stuff that's on there, including the Money Game by Daniel Mangena, as well as an audio course drawn from his Beyond Intention, Stepping Beyond Intention book called Beyond Intention. You want to check that one out too. But it's also got some really cool forms for sending in your questions and your comments. We want to make sure you do those as well. And I have to admit, I have added something to the link that I plug into the description of those podcasts where I say, download here or listen here, that kind of thing. I'm now including links to the various major podcast platforms where people are subscribing to us, because I'm realizing while people do like the app, they also like their regular podcast applications. So you are now going to be able to click that link and you can instantly find a link to subscribe on Apple Podcasts, which is number 1, Spotify, which is number 2. I believe Google Podcasts is currently number 3, although it is being overtaken by something called Castbox, which is doing pretty well. And there's a few others that are on. I think we got 8 of them on there right now that are.
Nice.
I guess I'd call them the major podcast apps, podcast platforms that are out there. But
Nice.
whatever you do, make sure that you're always tuned in, that you're always subscribed or listening to the app or whatever it takes to basically binge listen. Just do more binge listening and share the fact that you're binge listening with others on social media, because we want to keep growing the audience. We want to get more and more people getting their daily dose of happy, and we need your help to do it. So subscribe and listen. Oh, yeah. And you can check us out, too, on our videos, too, including on YouTube, which bada bing, bada boom leads to Alex King telling us how to subscribe.
Bada bing, bada boom. Well, if you go to you have to go to YouTube, search LOA Today podcast videos. And once you see our smiling faces, click down below to the red subscribe button. Next to the red subscribe button, there's a little silver bell. Make sure you click all so you will always be notified when we are live.
And that's the way it's done. Very cool. Well, actually, that was a worthwhile break because it gave my subconscious mind a chance to kind of piece together what we've talked about and realize what the next question was. And I realized there's a question that's tied not only to the money game, but also to the example I gave at the beginning about the podcaster service that was saying appreciate and celebrate your podcast. And I want to combine those two together. Daniel, the whole concept with the money game is expanding your edge, your edge of believability, and celebration, and creating alignment. And celebration is a huge part of that. So the question, I know this is going to sound so strange, are there people who play the money game who just forget to celebrate?
Yep, and they don't really get that far. They don't really get that far. Celebration is what anchors it all in. Yeah, that's what anchors in the new edge.
Because it makes me think that's why it is perhaps that some people are stopping playing the game. They're not celebrating.
Yeah. Or they miss a bit, or they don't see it because they weren't. I mean, look, you get to hang out with me every week.
And I love it.
And you still forgot or didn't catch that you had wins. Think how many hundreds of people who don't actually have a set of eyes watching their back. And this is one of the reasons why we've been doing the live stuff around it. It's one of the reasons why I've got my Facebook group where people can ask questions. It's one of the reasons why we've got interactive programs where people can come and get some coaching and stuff like that. We've just literally, by the way, cheeky plug, Kickstart, Micro Shift to Millions Kickstart is now live.
Oh, cool.
Ooh.
It's now live. So there is a entry level $500. You can actually get all of the first. So the whole Micro to Millions program will take you from 0 beyond $1 million. Our top level coaching, we hold your hand and do personal coaching, Micro to Million. But then the Kickstart, we created this entry level and it will take you from 0 to 12,800. It's a 6-week course. We've thrown loads of bonuses in there and we just literally finished producing everything for it 2 days ago. Sanday's making it live today. So people will be able to go in and do that.
Excellent. And people can sign up for those. They're not too late or anything.
Yeah, they can sign up for that. Yeah. And so, like I said, it's literally designed, pulling all of the foundational elements that people need, regardless of where they are. If they're deep in debt, if they've got really bad stress, they've got really bad situations around money. Like all of those basics get covered with the Kickstart program. Very exciting times.
Very
Well,
cool.
Congratulations.
Yeah, no kidding. That
Thank
sounds
you.
really great. Yeah.
It's taken about 8 months to really produce that and test it and make sure that it works.
These things take a lot of time to set up. No doubt about that.
Mm-hmm.
We got another question this time from the live streamers. This is from Bosco. And Bosco says, talk about synchronicity and why synchronicities occurred. I've been having multiple ones.
This one's yours, Alex.
Ooh, dang. Well, I need his definition of synchronicity.
We'll go with yours for the moment and then see how he amends it.
When I think of synchronicity, I think of deja vu.
Okay.
So when I think of deja vu, normally it's categorized as something you experienced before. But I find it to be something you dreamt about and now experience in real life, or maybe the other way around. So that would be my explanation for why synchronicities are happening. But it's also in the same dreaming about and then it happening. It has to do with law of attraction, basically, because it's like you're dreaming of what you want, so it's going to happen.
Mm-hmm. Yep. I think I would add that synchronicities happen all the time.
Mm-hmm.
This falls into the category of me not noticing that I just manifested my next goal in the money game.
Mm-hmm.
That we just don't notice most of these synchronicities. That's why we're doing this new challenge from Wednesday, where we're basically noticing everything we can possibly appreciate that goes on in our day, whether it be something that we're doing ourselves, we see somebody else do something nice or kind, whatever it is, anything that is a higher vibe thing, we're trying to make notice of it. And in the process of doing that, this is what I'm finding very early on, you see it more, you notice it more. So the synchronicities are starting to happen more often. It's not that they're happening more often, it's just that I'm seeing them more often.
Mm-hmm.
So the first step, I think, to understanding about synchronicity is understand the degree to which and the number of times that you'll notice synchronicities is directly proportional to how high your vibe is. If your vibe isn't really high, you're not going to see them very much. If your vibe is high, you're going to see them all the time. Now, what are synchronicities? Well, they're synchronicities, and Bosco's going to give us more information here, so I'm going to put that up on the screen. When we think about synchronicities, we're thinking about things that are in parallel with or the same thing as stuff we've been focusing on. Mm-hmm. Or that we've been noticing, or that we've been doing. And when those synchronicities happen, I mean, it's cool when they happen, but like you say, it's about law of attraction. If you're focused on something, no matter what it is, you're going to get more of that. That's what the synchronicities are. The synchronicities are the confirmation that the law of attraction actually works.
Word.
So Bosco says, I will think of something and then I see it in the environment. I was thinking about book voiceovers this morning, then you all talked about it this afternoon. Well, there's a perfect example. Mm-hmm. That's exactly what it is. You focused on it, and what did we do? We brought it up in the middle without having any knowledge of the fact that you had been focusing on it earlier this morning. So yeah, right. That's exactly how it is. That's what a synchronicity is. It is the universe bringing back to you an example of the very thing you were focusing on. So that's my view. Dan, got anything to add, or have we covered it?
For me, I agree with your point that it's a sign that you're on the right track. When we look at the process of aligning to something, oftentimes we're kind of there, but not really there. But we know that we're on the right track. So it's showing that so if we look at the point of manifestation as being like a GPS coordinate in the space of variations or in the infinite field of possibilities that's here, synchronicities show us that, we're close, but the cigar isn't quite being smoked yet. But it means that we can celebrate, we can bounce off of that, we can leap off of that, and keep holding the frequency of what we're going towards, keep holding that high vibration, keeping that vibration flow, keep mentally visualizing it and mentally rehearsing it, which just brings us closer, and keep asking, what can I do to embody this more? How can I make choices that are embodying this more? And that will bring us closer.
It also reminds me of something that you point out in the money game, which is if let's say your edge is currently X and you manifest X minus 10, so you didn't actually make it there, it's still important to celebrate it because it's a synchronicity.
Oh, yeah, 100%. 100%. And those, or when people get like the money equivalent in something else, like a coupon or a discount. Celebrate it, because that again it's a synchronicity again. But we want the actual thing. We want to keep planting our flag in the sand, that when we intend something, we create it in its wholeness, in its fulfillment, not a variation of it, its thing or better.
Yes, exactly. Cindy Chavez actually was talking about this on yesterday's program in reference to a concept that she calls driftwood. And she didn't actually originate that. She got this from somebody else. But the idea of driftwood is if you're out on the ocean and all of a sudden you see some driftwood, you know that it's a sign that you're near land, because driftwood usually isn't floating out in the dead center of the Atlantic. It's usually within a few miles of the shoreline. So when driftwood comes your way, that's synchronicity. That's a sign that land it's going to be within sight pretty quick if you don't see it already. And that's what synchronicities are. Synchronicities are signals that whatever it is that you're looking for, it's about to get there. You know, it's kind of like hey, wake up, pay attention. Your manifestation is around the corner. Be here, be ready, be there. Yeah.
It's like that little groove in the road before you hit the guardrail.
Okay. I try to avoid hitting guardrails, but I'm glad you know that,
But if you hit the groove, then all of a sudden the car goes, oh, you're on the right track to hit that guardrail if you keep going.
Yeah, probably an inversion of what we're talking about, but
definitely falls into the category of be careful what you give your attention to.
100%.
Yeah.
Especially when guardrails are involved. Wild. That's a really wild.
Welcome to my brain.
I'm gonna leave if you don't mind.
I don't want to be here either, bro.
I don't want to be here. I shouldn't. Oh, rest in peace, Mr. DMX.
Yes.
Oh well. That's just yeah.
There's only two ways out of that life.
Yeah.
Yeah. Does anyone know what he passed away of?
He overdosed.
Yeah, but what was it on?
I believe his drug of choice is crack.
Was. Yes.
Was.
Oh, sorry to hear that. Yeah.
Oh dear.
Mm-hmm.
Oh dear.
Yeah. Well,
I'm trying not to laugh because this is a serious moment, but somebody you just said, "Oh dear."
That was
Daniel
trying to raise the vibration a little bit. Yeah.
I appreciate it.
Actually catching the synchronicity, but now you can laugh because we changed topics.
Okay.
But, no, it's really sad because look, he had fame, he had wealth, he had influence. He was a movie star, pioneer in the hip hop industry.
10 kids.
And still 10. That's an awful lot of progeny.
Different baby mamas.
That's an awful lot of headaches.
It's also, well, I'm not sure if I would call it a synchronicity, but it is a sign. It is a signal that money, the money game is a wonderful game to play, but it's a reminder money isn't everything. And I know you're the first person who's going to agree with that. There are lots of people in life there are people who we could all point to who basically work their butts off. They will just do whatever it takes to make the money. And in the process, their relationships fall apart and their health starts to fail and so forth because they're so monomaniacally attached to, I got to make all this money. I got to make huge piles of it and so forth. Well, the money isn't everything. And there's an example of it because like you're saying, Dan, he had all this other going for him. And for whatever reason, too much pain is the only phrase that comes to my mind. For whatever reason, he was feeling too much pain and the money and the fame just wasn't going to cut it.
Yeah.
Yeah. So that is a sad thing. On the other hand, one good thing, when you pass on, you're no longer dealing with the physical world, but you are continuing. So he continues. It's not like he has disappeared forever from existence. It's just that he's ready to go on to the next phase. So there's if you're going to find a positive side, there's the positive side.
That's all of it.
That brings me into another question.
What's that?
For you guys. if you had let's say we passed on, knowing what we know now, like continuing on knowing what we know now of this life, would you choose to come back, and what contrast would you choose?
I'm still trying to figure out why I came back the first time, but we'll go after this question.
Who says this is the first time?
Well, yes, okay. The most recent time. How about that? I've been told I came back here 1,350 times. I'm not sure if I believe her, but whatever.
What are you looking for?
I don't know.
What are you looking for?
1,300. Wow.
He's looking for a movie that he can actually stand and a TV show that floats his boat.
Yeah. Well, now he came back
friend,
in the year of the reboots.
Oh God. Oh God. But to put a point on that, my friend Mira wrote a book called Beyond Past Life. She sold 20 million copies of her book. Amazing book.
Wow.
And there's a line that, yeah, she's a Hay House author. She's like mega famous. She used to date Wayne Dyer. She's met Oprah and all that kind of thing. She's really cool kitten. But there's a line that she had in her book that says, don't start to judge when you see people are not following a spiritual path in this life or don't hear what you have to say. You never know. They may spend 1,000 lifetimes mastering it and they're here to experience something different. Yeah. So maybe Walt has been a masterful movie maker in every other lifetime, and now he wants to come and just see what it's like to not really enjoy movies. Who knows? Maybe
that's a good explanation, actually. I like that one.
I do too. I like it.
Yeah. It makes me and Alex feel better about the fact that you literally bunk on every single show or movie that we try.
I'm like, I got nothing. I got nothing.
Look at it. Not to pull away from your question, which I will answer, but I've been watching this really interesting docu drama on the Roman Empire, and I didn't think I'd enjoy it. It's on Netflix, and I've really been enjoying it. I've like put it off for like a year. I was like, I'm going to try it. It's really interesting. I quite like this. So yeah, I recommend it.
What's the name of it?
Roman Empire on Netflix. So they do. I've watched this. They've got like these little seasons. There's 3 of them, like 5-6 episodes. There's one on Commodus. I now have. I believe it's a conspiracy. I think he's been. There's a conspiracy there, which all the time. And I'm watching the one on Julius Caesar now, and it's like, oh, I didn't really know this much about Julius Caesar. His story is really a lot more interesting than I thought it was.
Yeah, because everybody makes his story about Cleopatra.
Yeah. Or so for example, I always thought he was from a rich family, like the Julii were this prestigious family, but his dad got on the wrong side of a civil war, and so they were actually stripped of all of their wealth. So actually he was a bum that he dug his way up from the age of like 12 or something, dug his way up from nothing, went to the military to make a name for himself, and literally clawed and fought for every single thing that he had. So
wow.
It helps to understand him a lot more. Yeah. There's lots more substance to the story. Yeah, it's really interesting. Yeah. So,
I have to say, I actually do prefer the docudramas, but go ahead and talk about contrast.
No, all I was going to say is for the contrast, I would like to have none. I'd like to come back as a bumblebee and just to enjoy nectar, because I think this round in a meat suit, I've had my fair share. I've done my service. I'd like to either be a whale that's nowhere near Japan.
That's a good idea.
A whale or a sea turtle that makes it to be one of the 1 in 100.
Okay. All right. Well, those are good goals. I like that.
Good goals. I like it.
Goals.
I'm not sure that I actually. Well, no, I'm not going to the jazz joke. I'm not going to do that. Sorry. Enough dad jokes for the month.
Is it Lent already?
It's Lent already. No, actually, we just passed Easter. We're okay.
Okay. I don't know religious holidays. I just know religious holiday jokes.
Okay. So, yeah, I just threw myself off entirely. I think it means it's time to end the show, but this has been good. And seriously, thanks for the insights about the money game, because we did need to revisit that. So we appreciate everything that you had to share there. And Alex, good luck with the continued preparations and plans for the upcoming nuptials in October. That's going to be really, really cool.
So exciting. You guys are going to have so much fun. Oh my God.
So exciting.
Like, seriously.
Love you guys. Absolutely. It
Look
worked
at my
too.
hair.
It works for you really well. Yeah.
Thank you.
Okay. So anyway, we'll see you guys next week. Thank you all for our podcast listeners as well. See you all next time here on LOA Today. Goodbye, everybody.